Hey everybody, Movie Review Next Door here, and doing another review today. Felt like it, and this time I am reviewing The Spy Who Never Dies. This is a film from 2022, directed by Corey Pearson, and it stars Paul O'Brien, Teresa Leanne, Cassandra McGrath, and Georgia Walters. In this film, a world-class spy falls for an unlikely woman and must work out how to build a relationship with a normal person while others around him try and destroy both the relationship and much more. So, what do I think? What did I think about The Spy Who Never Dies? This is it's okay. If this film did not have the performances it does, or the like amount of good performances that it does and some of the pretty decent action scenes, it would legitimately be like a 4. Because I do not like the humor in this film for the most part. There's a lot of jokes that I thought really didn't stick, that they didn't play well at times. And yeah, this was a bit rough during the times where it wasn't the action or like, the good performances. But let me get to the actors first, and then I'll explain why I even watched this film. Paul O'Brien as Brad. He's a spy. He's the best at what he does. Blah 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 blah. He's good in this role. I believe him as a spy. He was in another film from this director, and that's basically the whole reason I watched this. Called Message Man, which was a pretty fucking awesome action movie. Made for like 10 million, I think it said, and they used the budget very well. Pretty good amount of action, well done action. Not all shaky cam bullshit. And yeah, Paul O'Brien was great in that, and he's great here. Um, Teresa Leanne as Trident. She is the main villain. She's fine. She's barely in the film, to be honest. Cassandra McGrath as Susan with a Z. Suzan. She's fun. She's fine and fun. It's supposed to be like a female M thing, but she's like kind of manic and weird, like a lot of characters in this. But I'll explain that. And Georgia Walters as Veronica. She was fine. Apparently this is her like freaking second movie role ever. Um, so I guess for her second movie role ever, she did a good job. And Cassandra McGrath was also in Wolf Creek. I think she was the main character of Wolf Creek, which I have not seen that. I just thought, oh, some of these people had to be in something. And this is an Australian film, so it makes sense they have somebody from Wolf Creek in this, since Wolf Creek is also Australian. But the entire reason I watched this movie was because I really liked the director's other film, Message Man, which, if you browse Prime's action section a lot, you've probably seen the poster. Corey Pearson was really great. Did a really great job directing that. I thought freaking uh Paula Bride did a great job there. Uh Corey Pearson does have another film that came out that same year called Harmony I've never seen. So maybe I'll check it out sometime. But yeah, this film is really mediocre in that it's billed as a spy comedy or an action comedy. But here's the thing, the action is so much more interesting than the comedy. Because a lot of the comedy is very obvious, very. How do I put this? I don't think it's well done. I think you can have obvious comedy done well if you know how to deliver it, but you can tell that this director has not done a comedy before. Uh, Let me see who wrote this. He also wrote it. Yeah, he wrote, produced, and directed it. Yeah, I feel like if he got somebody like a comedy writer to write it, it would have helped a lot because a lot of the jokes here are recycled throughout. There's the constant joke of an assassin comes up to try to kill the main character and he's like, "Okay, can we maybe do this another time? Now it's not the right time. I'm in the middle of a date." And then it happens again later and a lot of the jokes either make no sense or go on for way too long. There's a joke of him like knocking this one guy who's been shot in the head like 7 times, but he's still alive out. And each time he keeps reverting to a different thing. He starts like crying at one, and then he's like, "I'm gonna fucking kill you, daddy." And it's like, it's just so much of the comedy in this film is like head scratching. Again, if you like the comedy in this film, I'm not gonna like shame you for any of it. Even like toilet humor, I'm fine with that. There are certain films that could do toilet humor in a way where I'm like, oh yeah, I found that funny. But with this film, it was more just me being like scratching my head, like wondering what the hell is going on. Um, this film does suffer near the end, to be honest. I think the best moments of the film are especially when, again, when the action sequences happen, because this director seems to know what he's doing with action. If you watch a film like Message Man, while the film doesn't have it isn't like action packed. Comparatively, I'd compare it to a film like John Wick Chapter 2, where a lot of people seem to love that sequel. I didn't love John Wick Chapter 2 mostly because it took literally forever to get to the action and a lot of the dialogue was not really that good. I don't think the dialogue in any of the John Wick films are that good. Any of the first three. I haven't seen the fourth one. But like it it's one of those things where for Message Man, it was an hour and a half. It took about 45 minutes to get into the action. Really, like and that didn't bother me because I actually cared about the main character. I cared about what he was going through. It didn't really take 45 minutes. It was maybe like 35 minutes into the hour and a half film. But still, it was like the setup you needed to give a shit about the characters, not even just the main character, but the kid that he's protecting and the mother and the sister of the kid. And with this film, again, the action is the best part of it. The action, um, Paul O'Brien, and the score. The score is constantly lampooning James Bond music, which I'm perfectly fine with because I love the Bond series. But I think there's again the issue arises when you're making a Bond parody because that's already been done so many times. You have Johnny English, you have Spy Hard, you have Austin Powers, which I've never seen the Austin Powers films. I don't really want to. I'm not a fan of Mike Myers. I'm sorry to anybody who loves him. I'm just never gotten into him. But like you have so many spy parodies, and I kind of wish it was a parody of something else, like maybe Indiana Jones or something, because that hasn't really been done nearly as many times as James Bond. But like, yeah, I I didn't hate my time watching this. I was more bewildered by a lot of the jokes. There are a lot of like really crass jokes, and I'm not even against that because I love crass humor. There's literally a joke of like that there's a character that is like sent to the main character's hotel room as if she's gonna like pretend to be with him to like get him to break up with the girl that he's fallen in love with. But instead the girl is into she's always dreamed of having a threesome, so she like pulls her in there and then later there's a joke of her like walking out bow-legged and all that. And it's like I understand the joke, but I didn't really find it as funny as everybody else, and even the main character is walking out bow-legged, and I'm like, okay, so it's funny that she used, you know, it's funny that she used toys on him. Like, I don't really get it. I don't really get the sense of humor. Maybe it's because I'm not Australian, but the actress is American, I'm pretty sure. Uh, doesn't say here, but she sounded very American. She was like the only American sounding actress in the film. But like, yeah, again, there's not much for me to say about this movie because in all honesty, it's going to be pretty forgettable for me. Other than the action, again, there's a few action scenes that of note. There's the scene in the hospital that with between the main character and the twin assassins, which was a lot of fun. I liked it. I thought it was like well choreographed. The CG muzzle flashes of the guns, the SMGs that they have, didn't look too bad. Um, a step up from Color King that I watched yesterday. Um, there was mm, uh, there's a pretty decent fight in the bathroom between him and another assassin. There's shootouts at the end with him with the gun, the like non-lethal gun because he doesn't kill people anymore, which is a bit of a disappointment given Message Man. I had a lot of fun watching him just beat the fuck out of people and shoot them. It was fun. Um, but like, yeah, other than the action, the score, and the other things like, the acting, again, the humor really didn't work for me. There were certain bits of humor that did work. The like interactions between Brad and Susan were pretty funny, I thought. The way that you can tell that they fucking hate each other and them pretending to like each other was actually pretty funny. And the way that what's her name again? Cassandra McGrath played it was pretty amusing. I liked it. And like every time they closed the door, they were just like they looked like they wanted to claw each other's eyes out. I found that funny, but like again, a lot of the humor just didn't work. A I feel like it's a case of bad writing rather than bad acting. But yeah, not much else I can say about this. But I guess I got the pros and cons. Pros, again, the action choreography, the action scenes are pretty well done. Not horrible editing. The acting from Paul O'Brien, Teresa Leanne, Cassandra McGrath, Georgia Walters was pretty good. The direction by Corey Pearson is pretty good. The film looks good. It looks like it, it whatever the budget was, they stretched it enough. Um, the score from Tuomas Norhanen, uh, who has apparently only done the score for this film, was again pretty good. Lampooning James Bond music. Um, Cons again, the comedy didn't really work for me. The third act is really, really overstretched. And I just wish more was happening in it. Half of the third act is literally the main characters sitting in like chairs being held down and waiting for uh another character named James Bonder or whatever. I think that was his name. That was such a stupid joke. Where is he? Yeah, I think. But like his like friend is James Bonder. Haha, very funny. Um to like help him and it just got really boring in the third act to be honest. And yeah, I do think this film needed better writing. But yeah, not much I can say on this. The 6 out of 10s are probably the most boring to talk about too, usually. But yeah. Um that was my review of The Spy Who Never Dies. If you saw the film, let me know what you thought in the comments and movie reviewer next door out.